So my name is Morgane Richomme. I'm working in Orange Labs, and I will introduce a project called Emerginov. So I will focus on the first year of the community, as we are a young project. We integrated OW2con'13 last year. So the official announcement was done through a press release by Orange during Innov Africa, which was a week of innovation in Dakar. So I will explain why. I will give some reminder on the solution. So Emerginov is an open PHP PaaS, platform as a service for co-innovation in Africa. It was designed initially for Africa, so it was reused now for other purpose, but initially it was designed for Africa, and the idea was to provide an all-in-one solution for the students, for academic resources, for a startup, in order to quickly design, implement, and deploy mobile microservices on top of operator infrastructure. So we are an all-in-one solution. We offer storage, web hosting, but also media services and access to telecom networks. So if you are a developer, imagine, for example, you are an NGO and you are students in Mali, you want to create a campaign for vaccination, then you need web storage, you need access to a special number in the operator in Mali, you need SMS bundles. So you can, of course, start getting all the elements, but it's quite long and quite difficult. So the idea here was to propose an all-in-one solution when you have only a web portal and you can ask for all these elements, and you will push your code into the solutions, and through the web portal ask for deployment. So from the SVN, the OW2 SVN to the deployment live in the country, it's only a matter of clicks and minutes. So this solutions is a smart integration of lots of open source components. So there are Apache, there are OpenSIP, there are Asterix, there are SVN, there are lots of components. The installation of the infrastructure is ensured by Puppet now, and all the codes is available on OW2. So the platform, the Emerginov platform was three goals. It was an infrastructure, a community of developers, and a forge of microservices. So I detail a little bit the infrastructure. We have three platforms, one in Senegal, one in Mauritius, one in France, and several gateways all around Africa. So we have in Mali, we have in Senegal, we have in Madagascar, we have in Botswana, in several places where Orange has some affiliates. And then it's a community of developers. So as I mentioned, the deal was we will offer you free resources to telecom networks. And the deal is that you will publish your code under free license. So either Apache v2 or GPL v2. So the partner, they decide the choice of the license and they publish their code, and then they have access for free resources, 3 minutes of communication, free bundle of SMS, free hosting, etc., etc. So it's a nice way to have co-innovation between the different partners. And it simplifies a lot the life cycle of innovation for local developers. So here, that's the main achievement of this first year. So as I mentioned, we were in last November in Dakar. Since November, we did several things. So I will not detail all these elements, but the last news I didn't mention here is one of our partners in Mali. He did a project that was selected by the French government for the Forum 100 that will take place in December in Paris. And all the development I did was based on our platform, so we're quite happy with that. And of course, we have several other achievements here. So that first element, the infrastructure. Second element, the community of developers. So we are now dealing with lots of developers in Africa, so from the schools, from the universities, but also coming from the startup environment. Because, as I mentioned, when they need all these elements, that's an easy entry port for them. We are now identified as a partner locally for such co-innovation. So infrastructure first, community second, and the last point is the forge of microservices. As by construction, the deal is to publish under free license. Of course, progressively we have a forge of microservices that can be reused by anybody as they are published under free license. So it means that a developer in Mauritius that developed an application, mobile application to manage the road traffic in Mauritius, it can be interesting for a startup in Nigeria, for instance, and then as the microservices under free license is just have to pick the application, to fork it, and to adapt it to the local context. So innovation can travel very easily, and it's very influenced by Adulact, so the forge that is managed by in France for regions and all the cities. And we are now more than 100 microservices that can be reused and that are traveling in the different countries in Africa. So the community initially it was managed by an open source platform, Alg. Then we moved to the devil Google, but it was easier to have more visibility. And we are now sponsoring some events. Next one is in Abidjan, so end of this month. And we will train the trainer of we'll train trainer for the platform, even out of Orange footprints, because we have people coming from Benin or from Togo, where we have no affiliates, but people were interested to come to be trained to this platform. And we know that since we published it under OW2 Forge, that has been installed by local entrepreneur independently from Orange. Okay. So here I try to summarize what was very good working with OW2, what could have been better, as it's a very young community. I would say that first of all we use OW2 Forge, so we use lots of resources from OW2, the Forge, the XWiki. So I saw Olivier, he gave some support when we created the website dedicated to Emerginov. So thanks a lot for him. And we also are very happy to rely on the OW2 community. We were involved in the last Linux Expo. Here we are also invited. We take part to the OW2 programming context, which give us some opportunities to be more visible and even out of our initial scope, African initial scope. So what could have been better is at the end we did not get no candidate for we submitted 3 proposals, but as we are slightly different from other projects that are more Java and cloud oriented, even if our solution is virtualized, but it's more applicative and PHP, it's not Java. So we didn't get candidates this year, but hopefully next year probably we'll try to have better descriptions of the different training. The tracker, we have some difficulties with the tracker, so at the end we moved to another one, so we could have imagined to reuse the W tracker. And it's an atypical project, as I mentioned, so it's not always easy to interact, but every time I come to an OW2 conference, I see some possible interaction. This morning it was with GOBI, and I'm quite sure with even some VM provider or broker, we can imagine to have this kind of things. So we should also apologize, as the project is we are not a lot, so we are very shy to participate actively to the community. So we receive lots of mail, and we probably could be more reactive to that. We'll try to do better next year, promise. So the ambition for next year is to extend the community. As mentioned, people will come from Benin, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Togo in Abidjan to be trained. So we will consolidate the existing community. We will also probably start a program of an academic program in order to make. For the moment, we have several platforms, and we have to do the job manually to show what are the best applications. So we have to imagine something that is more automatic and that is more usable for people to identify very quickly what are the best mature applications that can reuse in my context. And initially the project was, so it's an open source project hosted in OW2, but the governance of this project was 100% arranged. So we will open the governance this year and give all the grant rights transfer to partners that are already identified. Some are already identified as they already work on the platform for quite a long time now. So the conclusion, I think it was very dense year. I mean, it was first year of the community, so it's not easy to create a community. We have lots of people that are happy to use the solution, but if we want to ensure the sustainability of the system, we should involve them in the construction of the community. And we are in Africa, but we are West Africa, East Africa, they don't have the same culture, so it was not easy to involve people in the project itself. So that's something we will try to do better in next year, and better interaction with OW2. I already mentioned it, but I've already some good ideas for that. And in OW2 there are some programming context. So the solution remained a good solution for to set up very quickly hackathon, and we are now used to organize them. So we are kind of within 1 hour you are able to do a service live on mobile network, and that's quite interesting. It could be reused also for OW2 if you want to organize such hackathons anywhere, anytime.